Good morning. It's Thursday, January 30th at 8:30 a.m. For those of you looking for a Trump update, turns out his speech was not Wednesday. It is, in fact, this evening at 7 o'clock. If you look in the candidate tracker in the Des Moines Register, you will see among the candidate speeches today, of which there are many, Donald Trump, 7 p.m. at the Drake University Theater. I've given it a lot of thought, and I guess I'll give it a try. It's a very difficult speech to attend. I read in the paper that the Trump people don't ever limit the tickets to the events, and a similarly sized venue in New Jersey, meaning it'll hold about 7,000, issued 100,000 tickets to supporters who wanted to attend. That may be the same here. It's first come, first serve. Standing in line outside in 20-degree or less weather is untenable. They have dealt with that by opening the venue 4 hours early, so you can get in at 3. You cannot drive anywhere near the speech. Drake University is functioning regularly, and its students and teachers need to park in their normal places. So the only thing you can do is park not too far away, call an Uber or a Lyft, and get a taxi over there. That's not really a problem, shouldn't cost much, but when the speech is over, I'm gonna expect to have to walk back to my car. I've been told by locals that that's a very sketchy neighborhood. It's the highest murder rate in Des Moines, so that is not a walk that I look forward to. In addition, there's a very long list of things you cannot bring into the theater. These include normal things like backpacks, but you also cannot bring a tripod. Now, I have a little handheld tripod that I use with this vlogging camera, and I think they're going to let me in with that. The GoPro footage that I usually get has a slightly longer tripod, maybe 12 inches long. I'm not sure they would let me in with that. And what do? You go over there, you stand in line, you get up to the front to the Secret Service screening and the metal detectors and whatnot. They look at your tripod on your GoPro and they say, no, that won't fly. And you either give them the tripod or you go home. So I think I'll have to just take my GoPro off its tripod, put it in my pocket, put the Sony and the microphone in a pocket, put the small Sony tripod in a pocket. And if they won't let me in, they won't let me in. And if I get there at 3 and the place is already full, you can stand outside in the cold and watch Trump speak on a large streamed screen, I guess like you would a sporting event or something. And that would be 4 hours later. That's not going to happen. On Tuesday morning, as scheduled, I went to hear Tom Steyer speak at the Grumpy Goat Tavern in Ankeny, Iowa, which is near here. The contrast between how easy it was to attend that event and the Trump event is massive. I was able to drive right to the tavern, park right next door, walk in, you'll see it from the GoPro footage, and get a good seat in the back on a bar stool that was nice and high. I counted the audience. I would say there were 45 people in seats, another 15 standing around. This is excluding press. For example, I saw CNN, I saw Fox News, all with TV cameras. And it was just a good event. I'm going to put up a Steyer stump speech because it has some interesting information in it. His wife and 2 of his 4 children are in Iowa canvassing door to door. And he told the audience that there was a poll released that morning, Tuesday morning, that comes out once a week. It polls all 4 early primary states, Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, and Nevada. And he was rated 3rd among all the candidates. He had a 17% rating. He then took many questions, and I will put up a question and answer video. Wish me luck at the Trump event, and don't get your hopes up because I view it as a long shot.
10 o'clock in the morning at a tavern. Wow, you guys really know how to live. Wow. So what I would really like to do is what I always like to do is just to take as many questions as possible. So I'll just give you a brief introduction, kind of a little bit about who I am if you guys don't know me well, and why I'm running for president. And then let's just get into it, and I'll answer any questions you have for as much time as we have, and I'll try and answer them quickly so we get as many as we can. So let me just start by saying I know that people describe me in the press as a rich person. And that is not how I think about myself. You know, my mom was from Minneapolis. My uncle actually taught at the University of Iowa for 45 years in Iowa City. I've been coming here for Easter since I was 2 years old. My mom was a teacher in the New York public schools. She grew up in Minneapolis. She was a teacher in the New York public schools. And she ended up tutoring prisoners. After she retired as a teacher, she started teaching prisoners in the Brooklyn House of Detention. Not exactly what you think of as a rich, fancy person. And my dad, first generation in his family to go to college. My grandfather was a plumber. My father graduated from college at 18. He went to law school, and then he quit the law in order to go into the Navy in World War II. My parents were Depression-era World War II babies. And they thought the United States of America was the greatest invention in history, and that if you were an American, you made sure you gave as much back to the country as the country gave to you. That's actually the family I come from. My dad, after the war, as a naval officer, because he'd gone to law school, they made him the assistant to the chief prosecutor at the Nuremberg trials of the Nazi war criminals. And so one of the things he also taught I have two older brothers, he taught all of us was, if you see something that is really wrong in your country, then you make sure you stand up against it as hard and as early as you can. Because he'd seen that the Germans didn't do that, and that something happened there that no one would ever have thought could have happened, but evil got in there and got its hold into society and it just went crazy. And honestly, that is why I started the Need to Impeach movement in October of 2017. There was something really wrong at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and I thought, only the American people can really stop this. So, 8.5 million people signed that petition, but they also wrote their congresspeople and called their congresspeople and emailed their congresspeople and said, hold the most corrupt president in American history to account. He is subject to the law like everybody else. Please do the right thing. This isn't about partisan politics, Democrat, Republican. This is about the system working and everybody being treated as citizens, including the president. And you know, right now, I am exactly where I was in October of 2017. Put these guys on TV. Let the people in this room and the people across America see the truth. Let us decide what's right and wrong, because the people who I trusted in this in the beginning were the American people, and the people who I care about now is for us all to get to make up our minds about what's right and wrong in this. So we'll see if in fact they do. If they don't let us see on TV under oath these administration officials testifying, it's going to be a sham and a cover-up, and it will be, you know, absolute perversion of American justice as far as I'm concerned. I did start a business. I'm married with 4 kids. In fact, my wife and 2 of our kids I don't know if you've met them, but they're out here going door to door in Iowa. So if you haven't met them yet, they're probably going to be knocking on your door tonight. I'm just warning you. But I started a business. I turned it into a pretty big multi-billion-dollar international business. Then I walked away from it. I took the giving pledge to give the bulk of my money to good causes while I'm alive. And for the last 10 years, I've been putting together coalitions of ordinary American citizens, exactly like you guys, to fight unchecked corporate power. And we have never lost, just to be clear. The first fight I was in was against 2 oil companies who were trying to roll back the clean energy rules in California, in my home state, which are the most progressive energy laws in the world. And the reason I got the job was because no one else was stupid enough to take it. I mean, because everybody figured the oil companies are so rich and they're so mean that no one will ever beat them. And we got 70% of the vote. In fact, before it was over, the president of one of the oil companies said to a friend of mine, I had no idea Tom Steyer was so mean. I was like, yes. But we beat the tobacco companies. They won 17 times in a row. We got them to kick in $3 to $4 billion a year towards the health costs, Medi-Cal, which is health care for the lowest income Californians. I closed $1 billion corporate tax loophole that was an absolute mistake that the legislature wouldn't fix and gave the money to the public schools. We have never lost. We've taken on the drug companies, we've taken on utilities, go for 50% clean energy by 2030, outside California. I worked to stop the Keystone Pipeline, and I also started one of the biggest grassroots organizations in the United States, which is Next Gen America. We're in Iowa. We've been in Iowa since the beginning of 2014, so this is our 7th year. Next Gen is on 41 campuses in Iowa. I've been coming here to organize, and also to see my aunt, for the last 7 years, to register, to talk to young people, to talk about what's going on in the state. As I like to say, we were here for the first time that Joni Ernst ran for the Senate. And we're here again, and this time we're going to win. So, as an outsider, I have been taking on what I think of as unchecked corporate power. I believe, this is why I'm running for president, you guys. I believe corporations own the government. I believe we have a broken national government. That we're not going to get any of the progressive things that the people in this room and the people across this country want. Things like affordable health care as a right, quality public education beginning with universal pre-K and going through college, clean air and clean water as a right. No one gets to poison you so they can make more money. A living wage. One job should be enough to support a family. We're not getting that until we take back this government. And I'm for structural change. Look, I've been meeting these corporations, but we need to change the way Washington works. So for instance, I am for term limits. 12 years for Congress people and senators. We are not going to get old change until we have new and different people in charge. And I would say the 6-word argument for term limits: Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Chuck Grassley. We need it. We literally need it. We can see it right now in this impeachment. So I'm also the person who would say, the only person in this race who will say climate's my #1 priority. It's just a fact. But I've been fighting on this for more than 12 years. I know how to do this. The reason we've won is we start with environmental justice. We call our climate plan a justice-based climate plan. We start in communities where you cannot breathe without getting asthma, and you can't mix up a pitcher of lemonade from the tap without getting sick. And that's true in rural Iowa. It's true in black and brown communities across the country. It's an absolutely huge issue in America. If you start there, you get everything else right. So that's my first point. It's a justice-based plan, and it also will create millions and millions, over 4.5 million good-paying union jobs across this country. So I've said I declare a state of emergency on day one. Use the emergency powers of the presidency to start controlling. Okay, here's the schedule that we're going to move to clean energy generation across this country on. Here's the schedule in which we're going to move away from gasoline-based vehicles. Here's the schedule that we're going to rebuild our buildings so that they're energy efficient and clean. We just have to get going. And Mother Nature is telling us, here's my schedule. Now, what's your schedule? If we're not in the same schedule, we're in a lot of trouble. So I declare a state of emergency on day one, but this is going to be something that is going to be great. We're going to rebuild and reimagine America in a really positive way. And it's going to be the biggest union job program in the history of the United States. I just want to cover one more thing and then take questions. So let me say this. I know we have to beat Mr. Trump. I know that. And we all know what Mr. Trump is going to be saying and doing between now and November of 2020. He's going to be running on the economy. We all know it, because he says it every single day really loudly. In fact, here is his campaign. I'm going to give you his campaign, because he said it in December in Florida, talking to a group of American citizens. It was the American-Israeli Conference. And he looked at them and he said, "You don't like me, and I don't like you, but you're all going to vote for me. Because if the Democrats get in control, they're going to destroy the economy in about 15 minutes." That is his campaign. Literally, that is the campaign we're going to have to beat. And here's really what he means, because that was an abbreviated Cliff Notes version of the campaign. Here's the real campaign. I'm a criminal. I think everybody in the United States knows that at this point. I despise 80% of you, and you despise me. If I showed up at your door in Iowa, you wouldn't let me in the front door or have me to dinner. Which, by the way, my mother would rather have killed herself than have me to dinner. But you're going to vote for me, because the Democrats are a bunch of socialists who don't know anything about growth or job creation or prosperity, and you can't afford. You hate me, you despise me, but you're going to vote for me because you can't afford not to. That, honest to God, is his campaign. And here's what I say. Look, I really did build the business from scratch. I didn't inherit one thin dime from my parents. I built a business, I walked away from it, and I have the experience and the expertise of what it means to grow an economy. That was my job for 30 years, is to figure out what creates a successful company, what creates a successful country, how that money can be spread through the citizenry in the country. And he's a fake. He's a fake business person who failed. You know, he played a successful business person on TV. That is not the same as being a successful business person. Reality TV is not reality. And he's a terrible steward of the American economy for the American people. And I can go on TV and take him down, and that's exactly what I want to do. And someone has to do that. Someone is going to have to go on TV in these debates in September and October of this year and go after this guy and show that he's a fake, which he is. I'm ready for questions. Let me say, this campaign is actually doing really well, just so you know. There was a poll out this morning that we didn't run called the Morning Consult Poll that comes out once a week, and it polls the 4 early primary states, including Iowa. So it's Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, and South Carolina. And that's sort of a fairly good, approximation of the country. It's got Midwest and East, it's got South and West, it's got a variety of populations, rural, urban, and all the different ways you can slice the United States in terms of race, ethnicity, what have you. I'm at 17% and in third place. And it's gone up really significantly. So I'm just saying, that's what we focused on. This is good. I really believe we're going to have to beat this guy and pull this party and this country more broadly together. I'm a grassroots person. I'm not talking about doing grassroots. I started one of the biggest grassroots organizations in the United States. NextGen, I said it's on 41 campuses in Iowa. In 2018, NextGen did the biggest youth voter mobilization in American history. We went into 38 Republican districts. We more than doubled the turnout of young people, and 33 of those 38 flipped. That is what we're going to have to do in 2020, is get turnout across this country from the parts of this citizenry that don't vote because they're all Democrats. We have half this country doesn't vote because they think that what I'm saying is true, that the government doesn't work because it's been bought by corporations. If they vote, we win everything. And that is what 2020 is going to be about. Grassroots turnout, telling the truth, beating Trump, and then taking this government back for the people of the United States.
Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like this political content, please subscribe.